In this video, I'm going to be explaining how you can build websites for clients in half the time. Now, whether you are a freelance web developer or wanting to start your own web development agency, one of the first issues you'll run into, or one of the first solutions you'll look for, is how to build a high-quality website quickly and efficiently within your estimated deadline. Your first thought might be, well, I need to design the web pages, and then I need to write the HTML and then the CSS and then the JavaScript and do some SEO stuff and some accessibility considerations and all these different types of things, but those are not enough. What you need to be thinking about is, how can I build a system that can facilitate the building of these different elements in a rapid pace? So today we'll be looking at how you can build websites faster with your very own systems. As always, this video has timestamps in the description, which will allow you to jump to any major sections that you choose at your convenience. With that said, let's take a look. So what are systems and what is systems thinking? Well, in a broader sense, systems thinking is being able to see your business and the broader world as a collection of systems. In reality, systems are everywhere. Your daily routine is a system, the way your computer stores files is a system, and even the sun and moon above your head follow a system. Systems allow everything to run smoothly and efficiently by removing the complexities in your procedures and making them more predictable. Every business, from the smallest startup to the largest corporation, is a collection of complementary systems that work together to deliver key results for their clients and consumers. In short, systems create results that are reusable, scalable, and of a high standard. So back to web development. Why do systems matter for creating websites? It's simple. If you want to make a great website, it needs to include all of the elements that make up a great website. And being able to do all of those things by hand is nice, but takes up a lot of time because, again, there's a lot of elements in a web page. So you need to build systems that can help you expedite some of these different elements. First, let's take a look at how you can implement a web development system to help you develop your websites much quicker. And one such system is a website template. Let's take a look. So here we have my current website template, which is used as the base for most of my client websites. It includes a lot of elements that I've gained from building past projects, researching, and experimentation. You can also download this template for free in the description below. Check that out. Okay, so first, HTML systems. The basic boilerplate will only get you so far, and using a random template off of GitHub or something like that can be a time sink in its own right. Instead, I recommend using other templates and such things as more so inspiration to build your own system. That way you can get more familiar with what you want to include, what works best for you, and also you can tailor it to fit your needs and the needs of your clients as well. So just taking a look at this, you'll see that first off, I have all of the major sections set up with comments here. So I like this form of commenting here because it gives you a lot of sort of more space and you can see everything at a glance. It's a lot more readable. Okay, and we have all of the major sections here, of course. So we have the body, everything is inside of the HTML tag. We have the head here. We start with the basic elements of the header here. Then we move on to the main content. Again, you see here that we can use things such as ARIA or HTML landmarks. So we use main here for the main section. We use section for all these different types of sections. Occasionally we will use asides and articles and such inside of those. So this is a good example of a system where you can set these things up to be as optimized as possible. You know, if we were just starting this out, we might say like, okay, just throw divs everywhere and just start getting them in there. But with here, we already have, okay, we know what the main is going to be. These are all sections. All of these sections have things inside of them, such as more divs, the correct tags, buttons, things like that. And so we see here first, for example, the hero, that we have everything laid out. So we have the section with an ID of hero. We have a sort of container here, div container, which has the class of hero container and some extra other classes on it to change its appearance and whatnot. Then we have hero content. So this is another little section here, which contains all of the content. And then we have hero intro in there, which is sort of one child section. And then another section here, which is hero media, which could be anything from like a GIF, maybe a video. It could just be a simple image, anything you want. So again, to reiterate here, the beauty in this is that we set up a system of, here's what a hero section looks like. we have everything laid out from top to bottom with classes, with, placeholders. And then we can come in and say, okay, this is the template. It has everything we need to be fully optimized and compliant with things on the internet. And then we can come in and tweak that for the specific project. So this one we could, for example, change the hero intro to obviously be different text, different styling here. We can change the styles, change the source images, all of those nice fun things. And that is an example of how you can use a template with HTML to build this nice system that you can start with. Now let's take a look at CSS. Okay, so here we have the sort of system style sheet for all of the different types of styles on the page. So you see here first off that we have some introductory content. We have some information here, but then we have sections as well. So one of the first things, in the same way that we set up the HTML, we set up the CSS. Nice sort of section headers, so we know what this thing contains. Okay, so we don't just have one long CSS sheet. We have, sections, things go here. And we can scroll down here and we can say, okay, things also go here. Base styles go here. Layout goes here. And way down here, because layout has a lot, we have utilities, typography, buttons, and so on and so forth. So I want to draw your attention to one of the most important elements here, which are the CSS variables. So when you're building a website or using CSS to style the website, it becomes easy to just start going in there and just start writing random classes with different names and putting in hard-coded values and things like that. But with a system like this, we can begin to add variables here for all of the core components that you will find or even need in your client website. So here we have all of the colors. We have color primary with its variants. We have color secondary with its variants, and these can be used for the brand colors, and you can have tertiary and so on and so forth. We have some sort of more muted colors, more general white, blacks, grays. We have colors for success and different types of states. We also have font families, font sizes, spacing, box shadows. And so the idea here is that we set up everything that we need, that we know that we're going to need as developers to be able to build the content and style the content of the website. And we just set it up here as predefined styles or variables. And what that means is now that we can reuse this template, and every time all we have to do is just simply come in here and just change these. It's like, okay, well, the brand color is going to be an orange. So you just change this to orange. And now all the colors that use color primary are orange. Same thing here. You want to use a different shade of gray. You want to use a different color for your info. You're going to use a different font family. All of it can be changed here and quickly added to elements as needed, as we see here for the H1 to H6, all using the variables font size. Another great benefit of a CSS system like this, using variables, is that you can use them. Let's find one real quick. So here we have, for example, background color, and we use the color white here, border bottom, and we also use the color of gray light here. Now, we could just hard code a value in here. I could just say like white or red or what have you. And then the issue that comes with that is, of course, the minute you start hard coding things in there in multiple places where they can be reused, then it becomes much more difficult to change them later on, okay? And that all adds time to your web development, design, and deployment process. Okay, so by being able to use different variables here, we can ensure that, okay, all of these have the color, or all of these have this certain font size. All we have to do is come in here and change this to 3.5, for example, and now everything gets updated. You don't have to go searching in 12 different places for hard-coded values that are sort of being tricky. And this is a system in practice. We cut out all of the guesswork, all of the inefficiencies, all of the things that make you take longer to build the site by using these clearly defined, predefined systems of how things are going to be laid out that can be easily swapped out, changed, modified, and things like that. It's much easier to deliver when you already have steps 1 through 4 figured out for you. Then you're starting from step 5, you're ahead of everybody else. So systems are a great way to do that. Okay, so that's an example of a great system for HTML and CSS. Now, as with any technique or methodology, there are some pitfalls that you want to look out for. Let's go over a few and how to avoid them. Pitfall number 1 is bloating your systems. You want to constantly revise and improve your system to be as lean as possible. It can seem tempting to just stuff a system with this and that to make it as comprehensive as possible, but you want your system to be supporting your efforts, not overwhelming them. To avoid this, make sure you review your system after each project and look at what was the most useful and where you could improve what was not as useful. In the words of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Pitfall number 2, not documenting. A good practice is to document the details of your system. This is particularly important for larger companies where multiple teams, if not giant teams, will be collaborating and utilizing the system at the same time. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page so that they can leverage the system efficiently and avoid any mishaps down the line. In the previous CSS system example, you saw that we used sort of at the top level of the document some information regarding how to use the document. So we saw a layout there, almost like a table of contents, sort of what's in the actual CSS style sheet, as well as some naming conventions of like, this is what you're going to be naming every class and ID as. So we want to retain that sort of standard of naming. So always document your systems. In particular, some systems you'll find can only be documented. Like SEO, if you had an SEO system, you could say, okay, we're going to check this first for SEO. You're going to check images, then maybe you'll check keywords and things on, so on and so forth. And that's sort of where you want to be looking at. So always document your systems. Pitfall number 3 is not linking your systems together. Okay, so systems are best used when used in sort of a collection, a complementary relationship with other systems. This is how everything works smoothly in one larger machine by using all of these different systems in tandem. So you might have a system for your development, such as an HTML template. Then you might have a design system. So one of the design systems I use is sort of a design kit. So this includes all of the major components and their styling. So you can say, okay, this is going to have this component, so we'll swap that component out with this component. And so I have inside of the kit every single component that is common on the internet, on websites, on applications. And so you want to be tying these systems all together and making them complementary to each other. How can they all be used together to make a better product? So think about that when you're writing up your systems as well. So there you go. The way to building websites in half the time is by building systems. Give it a try. I assure you it'll help you deliver better products for your clients in half the time. And pro tip, try to see the world from now on as systems. Where can you find a new system? Where can you build a new system? How can you optimize current systems in your business and in your life? I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions or would like to share your experience or opinions, feel free to leave a comment below. Like and subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and always be learning something new. Until next time.